Good evening, my friends. Kevin the Comic Doctor coming to you with another live CGC unboxing and some discussions about what's been happening around these parts over the last few days. Guys, I'm Kevin the Comic Doctor. I'm a comic book presser. I'm also an authorized CGC dealer located way up in Oshawa, Ontario, Canada. And like I said, another live CGC unboxing. These shows, I come on here, I do virtual show and tells, I show off the comics that belong to you, many of my amazing clients. For those that came at 8:30, I do apologize. I was actually buying a small collection out in Peterborough, and Peterborough is about 50 minutes north of here. And then my mom came with me for the drive, and I decided to take her out for dinner, and did that, and was a little bit tardy getting back. So I'm about 20 minutes late. I do apologize for that again. But I'm here now, and that's all that matters, isn't it? Guys, again, 3 boxes to share with you. We're going to talk a little bit about Fanexpo Canada. I'll tell you, like last year I was there kind of on a part-time basis. This year I was there full-time. I'm going to tell you about my experience, what I liked and did not like about the experience. And I'm also going to talk about, because this is pretty heavy news going on right now, pretty pressing news happening right now in the world of CGC grading. If you've been following me for any length of time, you know I've been complaining about a lot of these books that have been coming back over the last probably 3 or 4 months about them looking pretty bad when they're getting back to me, when I'm unboxing them. And well, it seems like I am not the only individual that has noticed these problems, and it has gotten pretty widespread. Now, we'll talk a little bit about that as well, too, how I think that's going to turn out. So if you're just getting here now, guys, don't go anywhere. Hit that like button, hit the subscribe button so you can also pipe in. I want to hear your views about what do you think's going on over at CGC right now. And also, if you went to Fanexpo, I wouldn't mind hearing about your experience and what you thought about Fanexpo Canada as well. All right, guys, let's get started. You are really here to look at some CGC comics. So let's do that as we speak. Okay, let's go to my overhead cam, which is right here. I'm my own man here. I'm a one-man team right here, guys. All right, so we start off with a Wolverine #1, a book we see pretty much this book has kind of overtaken the ASM 361. Remember that? When every episode had an ASM 361, now every episode has a copy of Wolverine #1. And this one comes to us in a 9.6. We also have, and then we get a whole bunch of 9.8s. Now, these books coming up right now, I believe belong to, these belong to a fellow who's been waiting a really long time. This is a 9.8 copy of Watchmen #1. We got a lot of nice grades in this box. Now, he's been waiting a long time for these books. I feel awful about it, but I'm going to explain why these took longer than they should have. 9.8 copy, ASM 252, Canadian price variant. Look at that. Nothing wrong with that. 9.8 copy. And these were not pre-screened. These were just sent in. These are beautiful books. Newsstand edition, Uncanny X-Men 211 in a 9.8. Where is my phone? Where the heck did my phone go? Is it around here anywhere? I don't know where my phone is. Anyhow, this particular client from Northern Ontario gave me these books. Justice League #1 in a 9.4. First appearance of Maxwell Lord. And these were sent in, I think, in April. I estimated a turnaround time of, I think it was 4 or 5 months, and it's been at 6 months now. And the reason being is this, and I'm pretty sure this is the reason. Great client, by the way, great books. And when the books were submitted, a submission form did not come with the package. I think this gentleman hand printed everything, and that's fine. I have no problem with hand printing out a list of the books. Sometimes people find it easier than going in and clicking them all in one by one on my submission form. But if I don't get a submission form, if I don't create a submission form, sometimes the books will be kind of passed over. What I mean with this, we have a binder. We keep everything in. As the books come in, we put everything in a binder, just date stamped. And so if there is something that's kind of out of the ordinary, sometimes they kind of get overlooked. And so I think that's what happened here. And it caused the submission to be delayed a little bit. So I really felt bad about it, but it is what it is. Sometimes these things happen. We are quite a busy office, and some things don't come in exactly as, CGC actually says that too. If you don't submit the books the way they want, it could delay the process of grading the books. Well, in this case, it kind of happened with the pressing, so I feel bad about this. Amazing Spider-Man 294 in a 9.8. Kraven's Last Hunt. Usagi Yojimbo And so far, it's not looking too bad. These, we're going to talk about that in a moment, in a 9.8 as well. Now, my stack is really high, so I'm going to go back and pack these babies up. And I'm going to talk to you guys in the chat room. Again, if you are new here and you want to talk to me, do so in the chat room. You have to subscribe to the channel. So do that, and you can come on over and say hi. I'm going to go over to the chat window right now, and there it is. Who do we have in the house tonight? Hoping Peter, I hope so too. How you doing? Good to see you. Lord Thothus here. I think Lord Thoth was here about 2 hours ago. I don't know if he's still around. I saw these when I was still in Peterborough. That's me saying I'm going to start later. Gord's here. How you doing, Gord? John's here. You're a good son. Oh, thanks, John. My mom lives with us here at the house, and I think sometimes she probably gets bored sitting around. Let's go for a ride out to Peterborough. And she said yes. Dave's here as well. Treasury Edition's here. Howdy, Doc. Looking forward to hearing your take on CGC Bengate. Yes, we are going to talk about that. I'll tell you why I think this is even happening and how long it's going to happen for. I'm going to tell you right now. Eric's here. Eric McGowan. How you doing, Eric? Hope to see me on Saturday. John, please make an appointment so I bring your books, but I look forward to seeing you too. Dave says, got my AF-15 silver foil to bring to you for grading. Is it possible the smush is possible the smush it too? Dave, what does that mean? Is it possible the smush it too? Is that an inside thing or a typo? Please let me know. Trevor's here. Hey, Trevor, how's it going? Had fun at Fanexpo on Saturday. Don't stay too late. Didn't stay too late. It gets late. It got hairy. Yeah, tell me about it. I was there, unfortunately, a lot longer than I wanted to be. Believe me. Believe you me. Dan, and how's it going, bud? Luke's here too. How you doing, Luke? Gorby's here. Hey, Gorby, what's happening? Good show. Yeah, it was all right. It was a pretty good show. Pete Bales, hey, Paul, how's it going? I'm looking forward to your take on what is causing the bending of the inner wells. I got a pretty good idea, I know. And it's not the inner wells themselves. We'll talk about that after this box. How about that? We start up now with an ASM 238. What the hell? Okay, we got a screwed up label on this one. Ederkopen, number 66. No, it's not. It's Amazing Spider-Man 238. So it looks like they screwed this one up. There's a label problem on this one in a 9.6. First appearance of the Hobgoblin. We also have another copy of look, I'm looking at this book right here. It looks perfect. This Wolverine number 1. Yeah, it looks perfect. And if any book is going to be bent in a slab, this one would be it. And it looks gorgeous in there. Green Arrow number 1 also looks perfect. Perfect in a 9.8. No bends at all. 9.8. But I wouldn't be surprised if we're going to see a bend or two. Let's have a look. All right, we have another 9.8 also looking good right there. We have a 9.6 copy of Hellblazer number 1, also looking so far the books are looking quite lovely indeed. By the way, 3 boxes to go, guys. We're halfway through box number 1. All right, we've got a 9.8. What the hell's going on there? We got a 9.8 copy of Hulk 340 right here. The slab doesn't look that. I mean, the bend. There's a bit of a bend on one, but still okay for a 9.8. But I'm seeing on the back here. My concern is not a bend; it's finger dents. If you can see these or not. Now these are there. Can you see that? It's kind of up there, right there. Right there by the TSR. You see that big giant bend there? I can guarantee you that bend was not there when I sent this book in. And look at the grade, a 9.8. Quality control. The problem. I'm going to put a little sticky on this one. I am going to try to find a little sticky to put on this one if I have any stickies kicking around. I'm going to go like this. Actually, you know what I'll do? I want to put a sticky on some. If anything looks suspicious, I had a green marker here. I am so disorganized. This place, since Fanexpo, this place is like a bomb went off. Let's see if this will work. Probably not. Yeah, okay. All right, put that one back in here. What else we have? Although the books were a little longer than I would have liked because of that whole submission form mishap, the grades are the grades in this order are quite good. And I think he's gonna be quite happy. 8.5 on this 298. Don't know why it's an 8.5. There's usually if a book's got an 8.5, it's because there's some kind of a bend or a dent or something, or some kind of a stain. I have to check that out later. But we also have another copy in a 9.8 right there. And this book looks fantastic too. And I don't see any, yeah. Right there. Got a 9.8 copy of X-Men 184. Not bad. I'm going to stop there because my stack is getting too high. I'll put my chair up a little bit here. Have a swig of my Diet Coke. And I'll go back to the chat for quick as I pack these ones up. And then once this box is done, we're going to talk about the bend gate, or bend gate, as I think Swagelhaas coined the phrase. Dave says, sorry, they smushed, bent it too. Oh, I see. Yes, yes. Bend. And what was your first point there about Dave? What would you say exactly? You said, oh, hopefully not. Hopefully, they will not. I got a feeling this whole bending thing is going to come to an end pretty quick. And I'll explain why in just a few moments. Luke says, did you guys get lots of signature subs at the show? At the show, we got quite a few. Not thousands of submissions. We got, a lot of celebrity ones beforehand, like I had requested. They're very expensive, so I didn't expect a lot of celebrity ones, but quite a few artists, probably about 100 artist submissions, signature submissions, around there, I think. Maybe a little less than that, but it was good. Canada Comic Guy, they messed up and gave you the grade so as not to get a bad response. Well, let's hope that's not what's going on, because that would really suck. That would kind of defeat the purpose, would it not? Dannon says, is it all books? Seems like bronze and modern are the most victim. Yeah, silver age seem to be not having as much issues. That is true, Dan. I'm seeing that as well. Gord says, Diet Coke with a splash of Captain Morgan's. Awesome. Yeah, I'm not much of a drinker. I find that Captain Morgan's would kind of ruin my Diet Coke. But yeah, I'm not a big drinker, Gord. Eric says, this bend gate is making me nervous on sending my books to get graded, and so it should. But again, I don't think it's going to last very long. Let me show you a few more books, and I'll give you my 2 cents worth, okay? Okay. We've got a Transformers #1. Looks fantastic. Looks good. And a 9.8, and that is a Canadian, is it newsstand or Canadian? Canadian price variant. Very nice. We also have another Craven book here. Also looks really nice in the slab. Amazing Spider-Man 293. The fact that I'm looking at these slabs right now and there are no bends in them kind of shows, look how nice this looks. Look at that. It's perfect. How is that possible? Now, these books have been here for a couple of weeks. I couldn't get to them last week. It was just too busy. So how is it that this book has no bends in it, but other ones do? We're going to talk about that in a second. Omega Man #3 in a 9.8. And again, looking really nice in the slab. No bends whatsoever. The way it should be. And I could have swore there was another. We've got a 9.8 copy of Hulk 340. Another copy. This one looks far nicer than the other one. 9.8. A 9.6 copy Canadian price variant of Secret Wars #8. Also looking very nice in the slab. No problems, no bends. And a Star Trek The Next Generation. Looks okay. 9.8. Back looks pretty good too. Also at a 9.8, which is great. So there you go. Box number 1. I didn't see much except for this one Hulk 340 that has a bit of a bend. No, sorry, has a finger dent in it, and that's the only problem I see. Okay, you guys want me to talk about this whole slab gate garbage? I'll talk to you about it right now. This is what I think, and then I want to hear what you think too. So, do you agree with me what I'm about to say, or do you think something else is going on? Let me know. So, I'll go back to the main camera so you can see my pretty face in a much bigger. Let's go focus here. There we go. All right. Look. If you guys remember a few years ago, maybe a year or two ago, we had that problem with the cracks. Crack gate, I called that one. And we had all these micro cracks in the slabs. Remember that? And I was complaining and sending books back, hundreds of books back to get re-slabbed because of these stupid cracks in all the slabs. Well, it kind of came about. Other people started complaining about it. All of a sudden, they seemed to figure it out, and then it went away. Interesting, it went away. It just got fixed. Then when we had that whole scandal earlier this year where people were swapping out the inner wells, well, guess what? All of a sudden now, it's not easy to crack out a comic anymore. They glue the shit out of that thing now. And guess what? A couple months fixed. I talked to 99 Newsstand about this the other day. We're chatting back and forth, and I said, I really just believe, honestly, that it's not that the inner wells are all of a sudden warped, in which case they're now warping the comics. It could be they had a bad batch of inner wells. I guess that could be the case. That's kind of twisting the book. That's possible. What I think is more likely, however, is that they have people that are there working that don't know what the hell they're doing. That's what I think is going on. I think it's a matter, and I think the exact same thing was happening when the slabs were all being cracked. I have seen quick little glimpses of their encapsulation system. There's a machine that they use. My dad used to make his own ammunition for his hunting. When you go hunting, he'd make his own little shotgun shells. And he had that machine that he would clamp the bullets. And I'm sure you've probably seen that done before. They'd press the bullets together and make your own shotgun shells. Well, the encapsulation machine, it's kind of similar in a way in that you get this little lever that closes down. It forces the slab together, and then it seals it, right? And I think at that time what was happening was whoever was operating the machine was either putting too much pressure on it or leaving it in the press for too long. Whatever the case may be, it was causing these little micro cracks. And once they figured out what the problem was, guess what? The micro cracks went away. It's amazing. Don't tell me for a second that you think that they retooled the machines. No. They trained the guy better, or they fired that guy and got someone else, or whatever. I think the exact same thing is happening here. Whoever is encapsulating these comics, whoever is putting the book inside of these inner wells is damaging the books. If you were here a moment ago and I showed you that book, and I'll show it to you again, right here. I'll show it to you again. This book does not look too bad. It's a 9.8. A 9.8 would not have this on the back. Right here. Check that out. The big dent. Right there. See that big dent by the TSR? A 9.8 would not have that. No way in hell. So that means that damage happened after the book was graded. So whoever took that book from the grader and put it inside this slab mishandled the book. And that, I think, is exactly what's happening with all these bent books we've been getting over the last 3 or 4 months. Someone is working there, or maybe there's more than one person that's working there that is inept and does not know what they're doing and is not knowing how to handle books. And that's the problem. Now, again, I can't speak to this as thoroughly as I would like because, and I always harp on this because it really irks me that when I wanted to go to Cgc last summer, not this summer, but last summer when I was in Florida, and I reached out to the powers that be and said, I would really like to come and see your facility. I would really like to see how your operation works. Not that I'm going to take what you have here and come back to Oshawa, Canada and start up my own grading company, the farthest thing from my mind, but I would just like to have a better idea of how things are done there. So I can come back and talk to you, my clients, and their clients, through me, and understand how things are done. But I was given the big, no, we don't want you here. Sorry, you're not giving tours. And I'm like, I don't want a tour. I want to come and shake the hands of the people I talk to on the phone, the customer service reps that I speak to. And I want to see how your operation runs, because I'm giving you guys a hell lot of money every year. And I think I'd like to know what's going on over there. You know, how does it happen? How does a book get damaged like that? It's mishandled. And what's even worse is it's mishandled and then it's not fixed. This book should not have been encapsulated. Anyways, so I think it's human error. I don't think it's a matter of, oh, the slabs all of a sudden are causing bends. Well, we've had these slabs for the last 5 years, well, maybe longer. All of a sudden, we're going to start seeing bent books again. Bad batch of inner wells. Could be. More likely, human error. Someone, whoever's working on these books does not know what the hell they're doing. Or, you know, people don't know how to handle books. I mean, simple as that. This goes back to the video I made several weeks ago when they were talking to some of the graders at work there. They're like 21 years old or 22 years old, and they're handling all these books and grading books. I'm like, why is this person, there's no way this person knows comics enough to be handling books and let alone grading books. Is that a bad, is that bad of me to feel that way, that someone's age should, you know, look at, if I had a choice between a 21-year-old person, I'm not care if they're boys or girls or whatever, a 21-year-old person handling my comic versus a 30-year-old veteran or a 40-year-old person who's been handling books for that long, I think I'd go with the person who's been handling books a lot longer. I don't know. What do you guys think? Am I wrong? Do you disagree with me? I really do believe 100% that it's human error and that this is going to be fixed very quickly. I really believe it. Look, I just showed you 10 books that had no bend in it, right? So what's going on there? But let's say we have 2 more boxes to go. Are we going to see some bends? We'll see. Human error, 100%. And that's what they're going to figure out. They're going to find out who was working, when, and who's doing what. And they're going to see it. And that person's going to be moved on or retrained or whatever. And those bends will be gone. The bends will be gone. All right, let's see what you guys think. Chat. Boom. There we go. Where we are. They messed up and gave you the grades so not to get it bad. Yeah, I see the Canada comic guy. I really hope they would do. Look, you damage a book, but then give it a 9.8. That's crap, right? Most of the books that have the bends have a high grade, but they shouldn't have that grade based on the bend that's in the book, which means that the bend happened after the book was graded. That's the problem. And there is nobody doing quality control. There's no one then looking at the book and saying, wait, there's a problem here. There's no one kind of cursory looking at the label, making sure, like I just showed you that ASM 238 with the messed up label. No one checking the label and no one checking the book themselves as before they leave, before they're shipped out. And that's the problem. CGC must be outsourcing. Oh, I don't know if they're outsourcing. I don't think they're outsourcing per se. I do think they're hiring a lot of people that don't know comic books. I mean, how many comic book people can actually can you find, man? I had a hell of a time finding people to work for me or work with me. You know, Napur was a 3-year search, right? A 3-year search to find someone with those kind of qualifications. Charlo has been collecting comics as long as I have, has been handling comics for as long as I have. So that's a good thing. You know, he's 50 something year. I'm not going to give you his age, but he's 50 something. And I'm 50 something. And I got a feeling that we don't have a lot of 50 somethings working at CGC, you know, because if they're paying minimum wage, by the way, what 50 something can survive on a minimum wage salary? So you get what you pay for. If you're hiring kids, or you're hiring unqualified people who don't know comics, you know, do you think everybody that works at CGC's warehouse and they're receiving are comic book collectors? Do you think everybody that packs up the books and encapsulates the books are comic book collectors? Baloney. If you think that, you're crazy. There's no way. I think in a perfect world, we think, yeah, if you work at CGC, you must be a comic book collector, right? No way. I don't believe so. I don't believe so. Well, look, and I mentioned Napur a moment ago. Napur didn't know a bloody thing about comic books before she met me. But she knows paper, right? She's working on paper for the last 15 years. So that's what I want, is someone who knows paper. I could teach you the comic side, but, you know, you got to know paper. She knows paper. But at CGC, don't think for a second the receiving guy or the guy packing the books up know a thing about comics. Maybe some do. I bet a lot don't. And that's the problem right there. And I don't know. That's the problem. Human error, man. Human error. I sent two for comic artist submissions. Hey, Spartacus, good to see you. Adam's here as well. Dan, is it all books? Seems like bronze and modern. Yeah, we talked about that. Oh, we did already. David says, Doc, do you think we should ask you to pause our submission to CGC before sending it? You can if you want. I'm still sending books. I mean, look, like I said, I just showed you an entire box. One book was affected, but the rest of the books are all fine. And even the ones that I've seen in the last few weeks it's like hit and miss. Like 5, not every book is damaged, right? It's like 1 in 4 or 1 in 10 sometimes, or 1 in a whole box of 25. I am absolutely, happy to hold off on sending your books. If you don't want me to send your books at this time and you know it's coming up, just say, Kev, put a hold on it. I'll be honest, I have slowed down my submissions. I sent some books out last week, and then I had another box ready to go. I said, I'm going to hold off and wait on those. So I'm just being a little bit laissez-faire, I guess, in terms of sending the books in. But I'm going to tell you guys, this problem is going to be solved fast. I put money on it, because I'm telling you, it's one person. One guy works a shift and puts out a bunch of crappy books. And then the next guy comes in, knows what he's doing, and everything's back to normal. There's not just one person in caps. I'm almost 100% sure it's human error. Anybody you think? I still want to know what you think. Is it human error or am I nuts? But to answer your question, David, I mean, I don't have to send books out I prefer not to. Like, CGC is a pain in the ass. But if you want me to hold off in doing your books, I'm more than happy to hold off. And we still don't know what CGC is going to do about it. We're going to talk about that in just a few moments as well. Trevor says, I just got a Jim Zub drawing on a Conan #1. Would you recommend a graded submission or an art submission? They don't do any submissions on art at CGC. Unless it's on like a comic book. If it's on the comic book, they may do it, but not on a piece of, like a single sheet of paper, with a picture on it or a drawing on it. They don't grade those. Winston says, worried about all my comics at CGC now, including those ASM. Winston, your books arrived. They're not graded yet, so don't worry about it. I'm pretty sure that by the time, and Winston, by gosh, you guys, Winston's books are unbelievably beautiful. So yeah, we'll make a stink if something does happen, Winston. But guys, I'm not as worried. To be honest, I really think it's going to get fixed fast. And for those of you that get books back that happen to have any issues you don't like, then we'll deal with that, as it comes. I know that there was a presser down in Florida who stopped submissions, and there's other guys who have been complaining about it. I want to see what CGC says. I already reached out to my CGC. Well, I don't have a rep, because hey, why would a guy like me who sends in like 400 or 500 books a month have a rep, right? But there is a guy at CGC I talked to who I can reach out to, and I did reach out today. So hopefully he'll call me tomorrow. I want to get a kind of an idea as to how they're going to handle this, because I do have books here out now that are going to go back to clients that are not going to be happy. And then, okay, say you have a 9.8, are you going to want to send it back? Because what if that 9.8 becomes a 9.4? You see what I mean? So now you're in this double-edged sword, because listen, you guys know as well as I do that people don't tend to buy the book, they buy the grade. And I mean that seriously. They look at the grade, not the book. Many people do. So if you happen to have a book that was affected by this whole dilemma, are you going to get it fixed and send it back with the chance of it dropping to a 9.6, or just leave it as is? That's a question. So we'll see. And if we do send it back to CGC, because I'll tell you right now, CGC will not want me to press the book. I'm going to tell you right now. This whole problem happened. Another client of mine named Steven had that TMNT third print #1 that the CGC damaged twice. Twice they damaged it. I paid to fix it the first time because the 4 weeks the 14 days had elapsed. The second time I got it back, it was worse than the first time, and I made a stink, and they fixed it. It took like 4 months to get it back. So that's another thing. If I send this 340 back to get pressed by CGC's pressing service, it'll take probably 7-8 weeks before you even see before it even gets pressed again. There's all kinds of reasons that kind of just drive you mental. That this crap, how do you fix this? Well, it's a lot of work to fix it. Rob Binns is another YouTube channel that explored the history of CGC bending, and it appears that bend books are not just a new phenomenon. The bends appear in books created over the past few years as well. Well, Rob, if that's the case, again, I'm going to have to say that I still believe it's human error. You know, I can only imagine the turnaround, the turnover rate of employee. I want to know the turnover rate of employees at CGC. I'm not talking about the higher ups like the Matt Nelsons, but the guys in the shipping department, the guys. I'll use this as another example. Whenever a new shipping manager goes to CGC, my shipments are screwed up for 2 months. For 2 months, I'm getting shipments sent to me in error. They're sending me boxes with one book in it. You know, all these things that have already been established, how books should be sent to me. Everything is kind of upside down until the new shipping manager figures out how to deal with my books, right? And it's uber frustrating. It's very annoying because it always costs me more money in the end when these shipping managers F up, and they do when they're new. They don't know everybody's deal, right? Especially international guys like me. So I have to kind of deal with it. When that happens, I have to email and phone call and pester and annoy them until they finally fix the problem. But guess what? I've had pretty perfect shipping for the last several months now since the new shipping manager came on board. But it took 2 months. So what I'm saying here, Rob, is I think that, yeah, it's happened because they're hiring new people that don't know how to encapsulate the books properly, or they're damaging the books when they're putting them inside the inner well before they seal the inner well, or they're handling it incorrectly while it's, you know, not inside the actual acrylic. There's all kinds of moments in the encapsulation of a book where it could be damaged. And again, if someone does not know how to handle a comic book, you come on, you guys, I'm sure, have seen people handle books incorrectly. Especially, okay, have any of you ever tried, because, you know, you have all your old comic books and you want to rebag and reboard them. It's a lot of work, right? Honey, can you come and help me rebag and board these comics? Sure, dear. And, you know, your wife or your girlfriend comes on over and they sit down beside you and you show, okay, here's the comic, you put it on the board, you put it, and you show them how to do it, and they grab the book and they're grabbing it. It's all like, you know, oh, you hold it like this, and like, and you're like, no, don't do it that way. And you try to show, you know what I'm saying, right? Or if you try to show your kids how to bag and board a comic, how to handle a comic. Come on, guys. We've all been doing this for many, many years. I've been bagging and boarding comics since I was 14 years old. I know how to do it. And you know that when we try to train somebody, a girlfriend, a wife, a partner, your kids, whatever, your brother, your sister, who are not used to handling those books, as they touch the book, you're like cringing. Oh, they're going to screw up. They're going to put a spine tick in it. They're going to put a spine tick in it. And you freak out, right? So just imagine, okay? I hire someone to encapsulate books at CGC who's never handled a book in their entire life. And they don't know the values of each and every book. They don't know which one's worth what. Okay, this book's the same as this one. They're comic books. It can't be worth much, right? I'm telling you, I put money on it. That's exactly what's happening. It's not how can this book right now have no spot? Look, perfect. Look at that. Perfect. That's how it should be. That's how it left me. And that's how I got back. How come this one, which was submitted, like I said, about a month ago, is back now and it looks fine? Because somebody who is encapsulating this particular book maybe has more experience or just knows how to do it better than the person that's been doing it. I'm telling you, my friends, that's what I think's going on here. But like I said, you know, I still get, by the way, Rob, Ben, you mentioned, you know, what's been happening for a long, I still get those micro cracks from time to time, but just not as frequently as I was a year and a half ago or 2 years ago, whenever the hell that was. That was a very bad time. Those micro cracks were very, oh God, that was absolute nightmare. That was an absolute nightmare. And this whole Ben thing could be an absolute nightmare too. The only difference is now, I think that a lot of people, if they have a 9.8 and it has a bend in it, they're going to be very hesitant to send it back to get pressed by them, because that 9.8 could become a 9.6 or a 9.4. That's the only, if you want to call it a saving grace for me, perhaps, so I don't have to send all these damn books back, but not good. Not a good look for CGC. It's terrible. This shouldn't be happening to begin with. It's called quality control. CGC, you want quality control? Get me over there. Put me in your encapsulation department just for a month or two. Just for a month or two. Let me see how you're doing things. Let me take control. There'll be no more damaged books. Trust me. I'm looking at my eye here, guys. It's got that whole like rock thing. See my eyes pointing up. You know what's going on? You're going to laugh. I have TMJ. Totally off topic now. Totally off topic. I had very bad TMJ, and my jaw was so stiff And I clench at night, the whole 9 yards. So I wake up from November to February. I could barely chew. You wouldn't think by how freaking fat I am, but I could barely chew. It was very, very hard to chew food, and I couldn't close my mouth properly. And so my doctor sends me for Botox, right? And it works. Botox loosened all these up, but they put Botox all along here, all on my neck, and they put Botox all, and I think it's kind of screwed up the muscle in my eye here, because I always look over, I got this real pointed eyebrow now, which I never used to have. I think it's from the Botox, but I believe the Botox, or perhaps this one on this side is a little lazy because the Botox kind of relaxes the muscles. I don't know, but it wears off after a while. I have another month or two, and because I always see myself in I never had that pointy like Mr. Spock. It's logical, you know. Well, Jim, I don't know. Anyways, all right, back to CGC. All right, let's see what else you guys are saying here. Let's see what else you guys are saying. Totally off topic. Sorry about that. I just keep seeing this thing in my video. I'm like, okay. Sean, good evening. Sean, how are you? Good to see you. The carddeal.com says PSA graded cards also changed their plastic, so cracking out cards now became harder to do. Sonic welding calibration is a real thing. Totally. And again, who's working these machines? But somebody is taking the comic. Someone is physically taking the comic book, putting it inside the inner well and sealing it, and then putting it inside the actual slab, and then sonic welding, like you said. There's all kinds of moments where damage could occur in that whole process. Hell, damage could occur as soon as you pull. I got about 100 books today from California, from 2 different clients. And by the way, my friends, if you were watching from far away and you want my office to work on your books, if you submit 10 or more books to me, I will pay to get your books to me. I will send you a shipping label to get your books to me anywhere in North America. I don't care. All right. So that's a deal I've had for a while. It's going pretty good. And these 2 clients, Kevin and Ryan, took advantage of that. I unpacked their books today. And I'm going to tell you, when you unpack a book, that is a moment where damage could definitely occur, especially if the person sending the book goes kind of kooky with the tape, right? Especially if they're using really like packing tape and not that nice blue tape, the painter's tape. So damage can occur at any moment, but for sure it can happen. And again, like I've said earlier, it's for sure happening after the grading's taking place. That's the issue. It's happening after the grading's taking place. You can see the grease in their fingerprints. Gosh, I hope not. Steven, CGC, no, they're not. They're not transparent at all. And maybe they will start to become transparent. Even myself, I want to start doing videos and show you guys some behind the scenes stuff at my shop. There's a whole bunch of things I have in this mind of mine that I'd like to show you guys. And I've started videotaping things. I'm not sure how to present it to you all, but I'm going to. I don't want to do how to press a comic. There's 1,000 websites on how to press comic books. You guys want to figure it out, go figure it out. But just to show you the hijinks, what's happening, or even the conversations we have and the comic books we're getting in, because you don't see everything, right? And I'd like you to see some of the behind the scenes stuff. But that's happening. I want to be transparent. That's why I'm on here on YouTube every week talking to you guys. I want to be transparent. And I wish CGC was a little more transparent too. That's why I can't understand why they would not invite their authorized dealers, at least the ones that are truly authorized dealers. Again, I don't want to get into that whole debacle, but to their location and show us around. Anyways, they don't want to. Okay, where am I here? Okay, kind of a little jump there. It don't check their own work. Well, they're not. No, you're right. There's no one checking the work. Remember the old days we heard about 3 people grading books? Yeah, sure they are. And there's certainly no one's checking the finished product before they leave before they leave Sarasota. One Express says, I agree. I'd rather an older guy. No, okay. Yeah, I know. That is totally probably a bias thing, and I'm thinking that way. You know, all I'm saying is a dude who's been handling books for 25 years is going to maybe be a little more, and shit can happen to anybody, whether you're 15 years old or 60 years old, right? But, you know, you can just tell when someone knows how to handle a comic book versus someone who doesn't. I wonder what Steven says, Cape Hart says, I wonder what their financials have been lately. I wonder if they've had to lay off and rehire. I'm telling you, I bet you that their retention of employees is very low, especially in the lower tier, for sure. Obviously, like a lot of their staff that a lot of the staff, like the customer service staff that I deal with. And by the way, They've got fantastic customer service staff. I've talked to many of them. They're excellent. CGC's customer service staff, for me, shout out to Matt, especially. There's a few others that are quite good. They're very nice and very helpful and very understanding. But what about the other guys? The guys in the shipping department, in the receiving department, people handling our... Look, I tell you, I've been reading on Facebook that a lot of dealers are getting double charged, triple charged sometimes. And I have a stack of invoices right here, that I have to now go back to February, and I'm checking my Visa statements. I used to do that, but they stopped sending me my statements until I request them, which kind of throws me off because I'm kind of busy. You know what I mean? You'd think a company would send their clients a monthly statement, but no, I have to request it with CGC. That's such a nice thing for them to do for me. Maybe irritate me some more. But because guess what? Jose, who was their main accountant, left. He left about 4 months ago. And then I start hearing people getting double charged, triple charged. Like I said, new employee comes in. I don't know who's working. I know Barbara's there now, and she's quite good too, but is she by herself? Is she taking on all those responsibilities on her own? I know Jose used to complain about the fact it was just him and her dealing with this huge company. So now, are my accounts good? Now I got to go back and check that because I don't know if I have been double charged, triple charged, if the credits they promised me are on my account. So now I got to go do that because, again, someone has left the company. Someone who's been in the company for a very long time, especially in a role like in the accounting department, who's been there for as long as I've been pretty much dealing with CG, is now gone. CGC is now gone. Now I got to go back and I have to check all of my accounting to make sure that I have not been overcharged. Great, right? And guess what? I guarantee I've been overcharged because new people don't know what they're doing. Encapsulation, don't know what they're doing. Effing up your books, bending your books. That is why. Question for all you with comic experience. Recently graded about 50 comics for my father, his books as a kid. Outside of eBay, is there any comic-only forums that are easy to use, sell, trade? Well, carddeal.com, the most obvious place, which... I don't know if people like it or not, is Marketplace. Facebook Marketplace has become kind of the go-to place to sell your books. The only problem with that is you're going to get a lot of lowball offers. You're going to get a lot of tire kickers, and it's a lot of work. Selling comics is a lot of work. And that's why when you go to a comic store and they want to buy your comic collection and they're offering you 50% of the value or whatever, because they don't know how long they're going to have your books for. Especially if it's a big purchase, a $50,000 purchase. Well, who's gonna invest $50,000 unless it's a sure thing? Nobody, right? So that's why comic book stores don't give you top dollar, because they don't know how long they're gonna be out of pocket for that money for, And then they're gonna deal with all the tire kickers and all the low ballers and all that sort of thing. But essentially, yeah, Marketplace. There are, I think, a good one actually. Comic Link has a marketplace themselves. You can log in there and take pictures and post your comics for sale. You can also then transition that into an auction, and Comic Link's only fee is 10%. So that's pretty cool. I'm biased towards them because I deal with them at my shop. You guys have seen me promote them at my shop before. There are, of course, other auction houses, Comic Connect and Heritage and all. They get different selling fees, but Comic Link is 10%. Can't go wrong. To me, that's a great deal. PBL says, if you get no bends in the next 2 boxes, I might go ahead with my next CGC submission. Okay, Paul, fingers crossed. Let's see what happens. We'll keep going in just a second. Facebook comic groups, good to sell. There you go. Dan, I used to work at Starbucks years and years ago, and most of my coworkers hated coffee. Unfortunately, a job is a job to people, and they don't care. Great example, Dan. I hate coffee too. But that's just it, right? They don't love comics. They don't love comics. They don't care. They're not special to them. But the most disheartening thing about that, Dan, though, is even though they might not understand, respect, or love comics like we do, the fact that it's other people's property that's being mishandled is really what pisses me off. Especially when CGC charges what they do. It's not cheap. Guys, I've said this before. Grading your comics is not a really inexpensive endeavor. It's a freaking expensive endeavor. Only to get your books back and they look like shit. And especially if they're coming back to me, because I sent them out looking great and they're coming back looking worse. And then you're like, well, what the hell? And I'm like, yeah, what the hell? And then that puts the onus on me and other pressers to kind of say, okay, well, what do we do? How do we fix this? How do we rectify this? I'll tell you again, I did reach out to someone at CGC. I hope I'll hear back tomorrow, and I'll see what they say. And for those of you whose books are affected, if you're really pissed off by it, and you really want to do something, not like I have tons and tons of time, I will, of course, assist you with this. Of course I will. I always have, and I always will. Stephen Chang says, Grosvenor represents CGC in Canada at cons, tells a lot about the company. There you go, Steve. Grosvenor, yeah. I'll tell you guys, I don't like to slag any company. I know CGC chose them as their official Canadian distribution or whatever the hell you want to call it. I heard so many complaints about them over the weekend. Tons of people were so pissed off with how they were handling the signatures, how they were disorganized, how they were cruel and rude and whatever. And yeah, why would you hire these people to represent you if they don't want to do it? You know why? I'll tell you why. It's very simple. Money, money, money. Adam Donnelly, I'm worried about resale of our slabs down the road with CGs with FFs. I can't say the F word. Come on. So I'll just say F-ups. It may say 9.8, but no one's going to pay that when it looks like a 9.4, 9.6. You'll be surprised. I agree to a certain extent, but I really do believe people, man, I even before this, sometimes you get a book back and it's like a 9.8, and it's like oh, I don't want to mention the book, but there's a book that we featured in the show not too long ago. 9.8, beautiful book, but it wasn't a 9.8, probably 9.4, 9.6, but they gave it a 9.8. That guy is going to have no problem selling that book as a 9.8. That's it. They're not, because you know why? It says 9.8 on it. And Adam, I think some of the more savvy collectors, you're right. They're going to say no, 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 no. But the average Joe who knows not much about it are going to grab them and chew them all up and eat them up. And there are a lot of guys out there like that. I'm going to tell you, when I was at Montreal Comic Con, me and Angelo talking about Canadian price variance, and I did a whole session on pressing, the majority of people in that room didn't know what the hell I was talking about. So there's a lot of newbies in this hobby that aren't aware of what we're talking about right now, right? So it's unfortunately, I think a lot of people won't care. They just won't. They just want to buy that grade. There's too much online coverage for it not to be fixed by 100%, Dan. This is going to be fixed, if not already fixed. If not already fixed. Yes, on a book. Oh yeah, on a book they'll do it for sure. I did one today. Or not today. One of my clients had what's his name? Stanley Lau do a drawing on a blank. What's it called? Those blank comics, on one of those blank comics, and that's going to get graded, no problem. That's what you mean, I believe. Luke says hiring too many people too fast. User error, 100%. Human error, absolute. John's on that board with me. I believe that. Watching from Jersey City today. Holy commercials! What? I have the commercials on on low. If you're getting commercials, guys, I do apologize, but I do have it on conservative. I don't know why it keeps doing that, but you can never understand. YouTube analytics. Like I did that interview with what's his name, Sticky Goose, and I couldn't monetize. It was a video where I had like almost 2,000 views, and I could not monetize it. It was like, what the hell? They wouldn't let me monetize it. So if I finally get a video that's got like crazy views, and I didn't get anything for it, which is just so stupid. Cool Hand Luke. Hi, from Montreal. Given all the issues of CGC as of late, do you think quality assurance would be paramount? But it clearly isn't. They've eroded the trust. They've been eroding the trust for a really long time. This entire year has been an absolute shit show for CGC. It really has. And the fact that people are still confident, people are still wanting to send the books into them, it's a testament to how I don't want to say desperate we are, but how maybe trained we are to just accept it. I don't know. It's not right, you know? Like I said, I wish I didn't have to ever send a book to CGC ever again. It's a real pain in my butt. The amount of work that CGC is for me is it's taken me away from what I really love to do, you know? Because it has to get done. And I don't want to put CGC responsibilities on anyone else because there's too many things that can go wrong, and I just need to I need to understand what's happening at all times, because if shit like this happens, I want to take care of it. That's the way it goes. Marco Coletta, hi. Marco, oh boy, Marco, give me a call tomorrow. I got to talk to you. Guys, pretty exciting. You know, look, you all know that Napoor's been working with me for over a year now, almost 2 years, 2 years. And we've always been talking about doing restoration work and proper conservation work. And Marco gave us a book to work on, and we did some work on it. It turned out fantastic. We've done a whole bunch, but we don't really talk about it too much, so we're not sure what we want to do with it. But we are going to start offering, we're going to formalize the whole conservation thing. And we're going to start offering aqueous baths and deacidification as an actual service you can ask for and request from us. You know, it's a cool, for the right book, it's a good thing to do. It protects the book, it enhances the book, removes some stains otherwise could not just be taken away with B-lead, although many think it can, but no, it can't. Excuse me. So some exciting things coming up. We're even going to over the next 7 months or so, we're going to try to start introducing, what do you call it? Oh my gosh, my brain's it's getting late, right? It's almost 10. Yeah, so my brain's getting late. What do you call it? Like mending, and we're also going to be doing like paper mending and oh my gosh. Okay, I'm drawing a blank. Anyways, conservation work coming your way to the Comic Doctor. We may even add a new division to the business, to the brand, to do that, because you know what? Why not? It's cool. Not a lot of people do it. There's not a lot of people that have the experience that she has. Like I said, I think Napoor is probably the most qualified comic presser in all of Canada. Yeah, bar none. What the heck is TMJ? TMJ, a temporal mandibular joint. The temporal mandibular joint. My joints in here are all messed up. They crack and they pop and they get stiff. It's from grinding your teeth for many years. I don't know if it's an aggressive, a moderate overbite, which, you know, tends to, I'm just getting old, man, I'm falling apart. I've always had issues with my jaw, and it's just really ramped up the last couple of years, and to the point where you can't even chew. It's really quite painful. I think I have it under control now, which is good. A lot of people, I am a part of a couple of groups on Facebook. People really suffer from it, though, who are a lot more worse off than I am. Oh, jumped again. Oh boy, jumped a lot. Can you smell the doc is cooking? I don't know. Kevin, how's it going? Settle down. My books are somewhere close to you. I'm afraid you'll start throwing. No, they're not even close. We're in a safe. They're far away. You're all good. How you doing, Kev? Good to see you. Hope you're feeling better. Hope you're healing up. John Turchi's here. How you doing? David Dryden, 63 watching and only 53. Yeah, I know. What's up with that? Almost 70 people watching. That's Fanexpo was a success. I met a lot of new people. Guys, hit that like button, my friends. Please. Helps the analytics up. Trying to get more views, more viewers on the channel. Marco, the fact is there's no Q&A in their shipping department. You can just tell by how the books come back. Second, there's no way they pay packers any more than minimum wage and labor-ready workers. And that, my friend, is the problem. But isn't that the case pretty much with every industry? You know, you can't pay everybody, you know, high wages. Otherwise, everything else is going to go up. But you could pay somebody to oversee what's happening, I guess, right? You need a shipping manager who's actually, you know, kind of mean and kind of like saying, do the job right or you're gone, right? I mean, I hate to say that, even with the encapsulations process, who the hell's looking over these people? Because obviously there's nobody doing a quality control. And it doesn't take much to do this, right? Oh, book's done. All right, next. All right, next. You know, you got to do it. You need it. Quality control is necessary for this type of thing, right? The way it goes. Canadian Card Dot says, good point. I've done baseball cards for almost 20 years. I like to hear this take on comics. I can relate to so much of this over the years, especially when you get good service and then see change. Marco, it's not just CGC. Here we go. PSA, etc. All companies are going dark. Hide info. Try to go on any website for food and look for a phone number. You can walk into headquarters before you find a phone number. Listen, CGC's always been great. They answer their phone. They've always been excellent that way. I was just kind of shocked. When I contacted them last year, I contacted customer service. I said, listen, you know, I'm a comic doctor, you know, a regular submitter, obviously, you know who I am. They all know who I am because when I call, hey, Kevin, they know me. So yeah, I'm coming to Sarasota. I want to come to your facility. I hear you guys will show me around, because I've heard other people have had that experience in the past. We are not offering tours. I said, well, it's not really a tour. I don't really want to see everything. I'll just spend a couple hours, walk around. I can just walk around. Just give me a little lanyard. I'll walk around as a guest, a visitor, or whatever, and and I'll just look around. I don't need anybody to hold my hand. No, we're sorry. I wrote the vice principal, and I'm back to school soon. The vice president, and I said how disappointed I was. I did $175,000 with you guys last year. You'd think maybe you'd be a little nicer and maybe show me a little, extend your hand. Nope. But this from a company who, again, I was at Fanexpo. Grosvenor was at Fanexpo. Gotham Central was at Fanexpo, and I'm sure there were other guys at Fanexpo who are dealers. I can't understand why CGC would direct everyone over to Grosvenor and not give Gotham Central or myself or any other dealer that submits a good amount of books a thumbs up to say, yeah, you have a variety of people you can go to submit your book safely with confidence. But no. We're not going to do that. We're going to ship everybody over to the grumpy guys in the back who have snarky remarks to clients and have them bypass, these other guys who've done a good job. Nah, but that's that company, right? That's that company who could give a rat's ass about me or any other submitter. That's my problem. It's, showing gratitude and respect's a good word, for people who do a lot of work for a company. They didn't send me no shirts. I had to make my own shirts. No one didn't give me any money towards my signage. Cost me $1,000. No problem. Let them pay for it. Anyways, it's kind of disheartening, You tell them kind of not happy. They're getting what they pay for. In the search to cut costs, which was predictable once they were purchased. Spartacus, will you be contacting people about the artist submissions from Fanexpo this week, seeing how you just got back? It depends. I will be giving. I'm still organizing the books. I didn't realize how many books came in. A lot of books came in over the weekend. I thought it was a lot less, but I got there today. I'm like, holy shit, this is taking forever. All these signatures from Fanexpo are done. We got every single signature we wanted to get, which is great. Again, thanks to Napur and my wife Allison and Victor. Oh, thank you, man. Victor had the VIP pass. He saved us a lot of time, man. Thank you so much. We got all those signatures. I'm going to organize all those. And what we're going to do with those books, they're all being fast-tracked through pressing. Now, if people did not want their books fast pressed, that's cool. We're still going to inspect the books quickly to make sure there's no problems. If we recognize that a book could use a press, we will contact you. You can still say, no, don't bother, and we won't do anything to it. We'll just send it as is. But if we do notice that a book could benefit from a press, we will certainly contact you and offer that service should you want it. That will probably start happening in the next, probably early next week, realistically. And then books will be shipped off to CGC within, like I said, 4 weeks of the Fanexpo. So by the end of September, all of your books that were signed will be at CGC to be graded. And by that point, Ben Gate will be a distant memory, hopefully. What was the most popular comic at Fanexpo? Comic? I had some books up for sale. You're not going to believe it. Amazing Spider-Man. Go figure, right? Amazing Spider-Man was the book. Most of the books I sold were Silver Age ASMs and a few key modern ASMs. That was the big seller. I tell you, I could go to Fanexpo with just ASM books, like say from issue number 1 up to issue from AF15, up to like to 150, and that's all I have, and I will do just very fine at Fanexpo because people love their ASM. Marco, on the issue of the age of graders, I know there's a feeling that a young person will make mistakes, but honestly, you have to bring in new graders to keep the industry alive. I agree, but train them really, really well. That's all you got to train them, right? You can't just throw them to the wolves fast, which I think is exactly what's happening with these books being damaged, one being encapsulated. Hey, Akira, Foxtrot, preach. I am Marco. If you want my honest opinion, all the big dealers need to form an association to pressure the grading companies by suspending submission. I'm happy to do it. But boy, oh boy, I'll tell you, I would do it, but then when things go back to normal, it'll take me forever to get through all those submissions, you know. No worries. Appreciate. Oh, sorry, Kira. Whoa. So, comic book sales online is a school of sales through getting the hard knocks. Cool. No worries. Appreciate the honesty. Yep. Deal in cards a lot and know the reality of all this. Money means work. It does. The CG guys at Fanexpo. Yeah. Yeah, they were interesting. Luke, who was the most pain to get a celeb at the Expo? Oh, well, the two big ones were, the big one was Rosario Dawson. It was a bit of a nightmare getting in to see her. And then Simu Liu was not easy as well. And actually, Dolph Lundgren was a little bit difficult as well. But we got them. We got them. We didn't get them right away. We had to come back and go back and forth, but it was pretty cool. And then as for artist signatures, the big problems were, what's his name? I think it was Mark Silvestri had really big lineups, Jeff Johns big lineups, and then of course Art Germ was a little bit. But you know what? We got through them all, so I'm okay. Mark's here. How you doing, Mark? Hi, Kevin. It was awesome seeing you during. Yes, you see our picture on Facebook together. Jim, where have you been, Jim? Oh my God, I haven't seen you on here forever. Hi, Kev. Looking forward to the next Toronto Comic Book Show. Yeah, me too. If I was going, I didn't get a table. I didn't buy a table. I never had an issue getting a table with Rob at the Toronto Comic Book Show, but I called him up a few weeks ago. Say, hey, Rob, I'm ready to, where am I going to be? And he goes, oh, I don't have a table for you. It's all sold out. So I'm not going to be at the Toronto Comic Book Show in September, but I am going to be in Hamilton. So if you're out the Hamilton way, I will be in Hamilton taking submissions with Roy from Roy's Paper Heroes. And I'll be there all weekend. So that's where you're going to find me next. But I would like to see you again, Jim. I haven't seen you in quite some time. Mark says, hey, Kev, it's awesome seeing you. We said that already. And John says, after almost 50 years, I decided to get some comics created. I wonder if I should wait a few more till CGC gets their act together. John, you know what? Just find your presser, start the process, and just watch the videos on YouTube. And if things seem to settle down, then you can go ahead and do it. And if they don't, then maybe just tell your presser, hold off. Just chill for a while until things seem a little bit better. But you know what? This will pass. This too shall pass. And then guess what? Another scandal will happen. Something else will happen. We'll go back to the cracks again. Or I'm out of focus a little bit. Sorry, guys. You know, it's going to continue. We're going to always have problems. You know, too many moving parts over at CGC. Maybe competition from PSA will make CGC treat their customers better. I should hope so. Stephen Capehart says CGC is currently hiring a quality control specialist. If anyone wants to be the change they want to see, are you serious, Stephen? They should hire me. I'll go do it. I want to do it. I kind of want to do it. I don't know why. So I want to just kind of be militant and get in there and clean house, right? See if they're sponsored or whoa. Maybe okay. See if they're sponsored or connected to BlackRock. Like, see, just hope not. Canada Comic Guy. There was a CGC verifier at the Art Germ group. Not sure if it was same. Yeah, a lot of the artists now have their own signature series reps, and you know what? It makes sense. Why would you not? Those guys don't piss me off, to be honest. Art Germ's sitting here, and he's got a company that works with him specifically. You can still come to me. But if you want to work with Art Germ's guy, that's fine. The only problem with these guys, good luck getting in touch with them if you need anything. Like, good luck. You know, your presser is going to be far more able to talk to you about your submission. Oh, by the way, guys, coming soon to the Comic Doctor website, you will, not yet, but soon, probably a few weeks out, you're going to be able to track your submissions yourself. No more texting the Comic Doctor at 1 o'clock in the morning. No more calling Kevin at 2 o'clock in the morning. You can just go onto the website, type in your invoice number. No logging in. Just go and type in your invoice number, and it will plop up the current status of your order based on when we get to it. So that's coming very soon. It's something I've wanted to do for a long time. It's coming. See if they responded or connected to Block. We did that already. Peter, I should have bought that ASM 42. Where was it? Nice holding that AF-15 though. Yeah, I know, eh? Beautiful. Beautiful book. Beautiful book. Mark, anything else come back for me? I don't know. I'm going to continue in just a second. Tracking submissions. Awesome. Yes. Seriously, it's listed on CGC's career. Oh, is that right, Steve? Maybe I'll go check it out. They wouldn't hire me. I've slagged them too much. All right, let me pack these guys up. if you're watching this, guys, on the rewind, or you're watching it after the live stream, I do want to know what you think about my views on the bends that CGC books, some CGC books are now suffering from. Do you agree with me? Do you think it's human error? Do you think someone's just not doing their job right? Or do you think it's actually something to do with the packaging itself, with the actual inner wells? Are there defected inner wells? Let me know what you think. Keep this conversation going long after the stream is over. All right, guys, we did one box. We have another box to do. Let me pack these babies up really quick. I have no idea what's in these. Whoa, geez, that's a mess. Okay. All right, that's box number one. I'll put, these are all one person's order. I think there was another 238 in here, though. Amazing Spider-Man 294. Oh, 298. Okay. All right, let's see. What do we have next here? We have another order. I'm not sure what the heck we got. This one here, that last order was one person's order. This one coming up here is several orders. So one of your books could be in here, guys. Let's see what we got. Here we go. We start off with some Silver Age books. I know you guys like this. This is going to be a long stream, guys. We're going to go an hour and a half at least. We'll get through these next two boxes as quickly as we can. Then we'll talk about Fanexpo, what I thought about Fanexpo, what I think I'm going to do about next year's Fanexpo. Here we go. All right, we have a Silver Surfer number 4, 6.5. This is, of course, a famous cover. If I can find my overhead cam right there. Enjoy. We have a Journey into Mystery, 83. We got a golden record reprint. And again, I am not, okay, Peter Hurt, was it you who said this? I'm not seeing any bends in these books yet, so get your order ready. Planet Comics number 65 from 1951 in a 2.5. We've got a, oh, cool. We've got a 9.8 copy of Superman 75 Polybag edition right here. Again, oh, this one, I don't know if we pressed this or not. I don't remember. I think we did, but it looks pretty good in there, actually. The reason why I don't know if they're pressed, it came with the black armband that, you know, we all wore when Superman died. Remember that? We all wore that. That's pretty cool. We'll keep her going. We have, what we got here? We have a 9.6 copy of Next Men. Next Men number 21 in a 9.6. And I do see a bend. It's not a terrible one, though. And it's very common on this book right here. Right there. I mean, we can't go crazy, guys. Right? We can't go crazy. Every single bend. You got to remember, okay, when there's a bend in a book or a tick in a book or whatever, that is the weak point, right? That's the weak point. And how can I say this? If the book is handled, sometimes a bend or a tick will come back. It just will. Okay, it's a weak point, right? Some of the ones I've seen are really quite noticeable. This one is pretty small, so I don't know if this one is one I'd be too concerned about, but anyhow. We also have, this is Massimo's book. I met Massimo. Again, this one looks quite good. I'm actually shocked this book got a 9.6. I thought this book was actually, Massimo, if you're out there, how you doing? I thought this book was going to get us about a 9.2, 9.4. They gave him a 9.6. Daredevil 172, signed by the Kingpin himself, Vincent D'Onofrio, right here with a remark as well on it, right there. That was from Montreal Comic Con. Met Massimo out there. He was so excited to get that signature from D'Onofrio. We got some more Silver Age goodness here, guys. We have a copy of Strange Tales 107 in a 3.0. We also have another Silver Surfer book, Silver Surfer number 3 in a 4.5. Oops. And we are running out of room. I'll do one more. I'll do it like this. Oh, I got to get another copy of this. Spider-Man number 6 in a 5.0 right there. Awesome first appearance of the Lizard. Right? Nice. Okay. Let's go back to the chat room as I pack these babies up. Hey, are you new here tonight, guys? If you are, please let me know where you're watching from. I love to see where you guys are tuning in from. All right, let's go back. Boom. Joe Hockey Player, the tracking is great new, Kevin. Long time. I know. I feel bad. I'll be honest. I was going to redo my entire website, and I contacted a few web developers, and that was going to be a part of it. You know, a new submission form and all that. But a couple of both guys, and I appreciate this. I do the exact same thing for my customers. Like, I get guys bringing me, like at the Fanexpo, I had guys dropping off like 20 books, and they'd walk away with 15, and I would just take 5. And yeah, would I have made more money if I pressed Alt 20 and sent Alt 20 to CGC? For sure I would. But in good conscience, I didn't think it was the right thing to do. I would explain to them it's not worth doing, and I told them why, and they appreciated that, and I gave me 5 books instead of 20 books, and that's cool. And these web developers kind of did the same thing for me. They said, well, is the website still garnering views? I said, of course it is. Are you ranking high on Google? Yes, I am. They said, don't touch your website. Yes, it's older. Yes, it looks maybe dated, but if it's still working and people are still going to your website, don't change your website. It could screw up your analytics on Google. And if you've got good analytics, don't play with fire. So I listened to them, and I didn't, and I'm going to keep my website as is. It does the job for what it suits my purpose. The only thing I wanted to really do is I really wanted to have a submission tracker so people could track their submissions finally, and that's what's happening. It's being worked on as we speak, which is really great. Okay. Upstate New York, Mech 15, how's it going? Like Buffalo, upstate New York? Luis Sanchez, second time in the channel, running in from Monterrey, Mexico. Hey, Luis Sanchez, welcome, my friend, all the way from Mexico. It's awesome. Will you guys be doing, that's the word. Thank you, Luke. I appreciate leaf casting. That's what I wanted to say. Yes, we're going to buy all the equipment. We're going to start doing leaf casting as well. Napur's good at it. So why shouldn't she do it, right? I don't think she's bored with pressing, right? Don't get me wrong, but this woman is a skilled conservator. So why not give her the opportunity to work her magic on comics that deserve it? And not only that, we're going to offer service on actual novels and books and things like that, vintage books, everything, right? Her experience is more with pamphlets and books and things like that. So we're going to play around with that. We're going to get in touch with a book binder. I have a contact who's a book binder. We might start refinishing vintage books as well. There's all sorts of avenues we want to explore. So yes, comics are my passion, and we're going to keep doing that. But we're going to offer other services for other paper products as well, not just comic books. You know, we got to diversify it a little bit. But thanks, Mark. Thank you, Luke, for that. I couldn't remember leaf casting. That's exactly what I want to say. I'll try to give you a call tomorrow. If not, I'll drop by Saturday if you're open. Yeah, totally. We are open. Saturday, 11 to 2. Great time to submit books, guy. Well, a whole bunch just came in, but our turnaround time is still pretty good. All right. Ouch. Let's keep going here. We got some more ASM books here. We got ASM number 21 in a 3.5. You know, you guys, you're talking about it doesn't really happen to Silver Age books. Well, this one seems like there's some bends in it. And it's a Silver Age book, right? I don't know if you can see it or not. Hold on. Right. There. See? It's those deeper ones that I'm more concerned with. These deeper bends, right? That's what these bends are. It's not these little teeny weeny ones. It's when they extend like about an inch or so. It seems totally unnatural and totally, like, you could tell some shit went sideways. That kind of looks like it here. That being said, this is a 3.5, so it's not going to freak people out to see it. But when you see a 9.8 with those, then it's like, what's going on? What the hell is going on? Or I'll put that on the thing for you there so you can see it. We also have a Hawkman number 1. That looks pretty good, and a 6.0. I'm also checking for cracks and stuff. We don't want any cracks. Whoa. We have a 9.6 copy of, that looks good, San Diego Comic-Con number 2 from 1993. Looks great. There's no bends in that baby. We got a 9.6 copy of Spider-Man 238. Oh, is this the one? I think this is, hold on, guys. This is good news. I believe, yeah, I'm pretty sure this is the one. All right. We all heard what Matt Nelson said about that B-lead, right? We all heard about it. I'm pretty sure this is the comic. It's all by itself. So I'm pretty sure this is it. This book was a 9-0. We pressed it, cleaned it, we beaded it. We beaded the front, we beaded the back. It had some staining on the back. It had some yellow on the back. We got rid of it. The trick with bead, as Matt Nelson himself said, we can't detect it. If we don't detect it, it's going to get by. Well, Napur, again, is quite good at this. So am I. I give myself some credit, too. We've cracked the code of this. There's a right way of doing it and a wrong way of doing it. And really, when it comes to beading, it's not even so much the actual the practice itself. It's going back to the whole Kenny Rogers thing. You got to know when to hold them, know when to fold them, know when to walk away, know when to run. That's exactly right. You got to know when to stop. People get kind of crazy with the bead. I'm going crazy with the bead. I want it whiter. I want it white. I want it as white as this brand new piece of paper. I want my comic. No, you don't want it as white as that, because it's obvious the book's been doctored, for lack of a better word. But yeah, this one was done and we were quite happy. We had a feeling it was going to crank up in grade. It certainly did. Yeah, the customers will be very, very happy with that. I was ecstatic. We've sent actually many books in now. We're experimenting, and we've been experimenting, and we've had very good luck. In fact, I'm going to be honest, we haven't got any back yet, purple or conserved. Again, we don't do many. We send a few in, and we are very conservative. We don't overdo it. We don't want the book to look unnatural. And it's the same thing with the pressing. You don't want to crush the book. You don't want to make it look like a pancake. That defeats the purpose. Anyways, very happy about that one. Let's keep going. We got quite a few more to go. We got a nice copy of Fantastic Four number 49 and a 5.5. We have another Fantastic Four. We have a Fantastic Four also at a 5.5. Matching books, I guess. And this is a number 50. Sergeant Fury and its Howling Commandos number 2, again in a 5.5. What's going on with these 5.5 grades? It's a 5.5 celebration. I'm going to break that routine with a 7.0 copy of Tales of Suspense 58. Nice looking book, 7.0. And my stack needs to get put away because it's too high. This box is almost done, guys. One more box to go. Where are you going? It's Tuesday night. What else are you going to do? Sit back, relax, enjoy the rest of the show. 71 people here. It's fantastic. Hit that like button, my friends, please. If you are new here, as I pack these away, please remember, if you are watching from outside of, the greater Toronto area, and you're like, you know what? I really like to send this guy some books to press. But my gosh, he's too far away. Well, I'm gonna make things easy for you. If you fill out one of my submission forms at comicdoctor.com and you submit at least 10 books for our exclusive press and clean service, I will pay to get your books to us here in beautiful Oshawa, Ontario, Canada. Once you fill out the submission form and I get a copy of that, I will give you instructions and I will get you a shipping label as soon as humanly possible to get your books here. Yeah. And you know what? I started doing that a few months ago. I haven't really blasted, a lot of advertising with that. I mentioned it here on the show, and it's worked out quite well thus far. And a lot of my customers from Alberta and down in the States and Eastern Canada have taken advantage of it already too, which is great. And of course, if you need references, let me know, and I can get you some references. Or head on over to Google, just to Google and type in the Comic Doctor. I'm starting to, I've exceeded 100 reviews now. I'm hoping to get into the 200 mark at some point this year. Okay, let's keep going here. Back to the chat really quick. What are you guys saying here? I'll try to give you a call, Kay. Dan, and did you pick up anything juicy in that collection from, you know what? It was all, guys, if you're looking for Swamp Thing, it was all Swamp Things. I think it was some Conan the Barbarian magazines and a shit ton of Swamp Thing, 1980s Swamp Thing. I got the first Constantine in there. So if you're interested in that, there's some other keys from that line, and the grades are like 9.2, 9.4, 9.6. So they're all raw, by the way, and I'm going to sell them raw probably. So if you're in the market for any Swamp Thing books, I haven't processed them yet. It's almost a full run. Let me know, and I can hook you up. All right, we've got Tales of Suspense 44. Let's just finish off this this little box here. Okay, we got a 9.6 copy of Platinum Edition of Spider-Man number 196. It's a big book, I think. Is that a big book? That's a pretty pricey book, I think. We also have a copy of Fantastic Four, number 4. Restoration includes small amount of color touch on cover, pieces added to cover, tear seals to cover. We were aware of that with this book going in. We knew that there was some conservation done to this book, some restoration done. Still first appearance of Submariner, still Rage Submariner, that is. Okay. We have here a copy of Hulk 180, Marvel value stamp missing in a 3.5. Now this book, I don't remember what grade it was. I think it was really, really low. It was a blue label initially. And the funny thing is most guys want the blue label, and I didn't even request it. CGC gave this book a blue label without the Marvel stamp, and I think it was like a 1 or a 0.5 or something like that. When the owner got it, he was kind of ticked off. So it's really low. And I said, well, because the value stamp was cut out. So he requested I send it back. If you please send it back, and asked him for the green label. I said, sure, I can do that. So I sent it back, and now it's been returned as a 3.5. Again, I think it was either a 0.5, a 1, or a 1.5. I don't remember. I think it must have been, it couldn't have been a 0.5. It was probably like a 1.5. Anyways, there you go. We also have a copy of Avengers number 100, UK price variant in a 6.5. We also have a copy of Amazing Spider-Man number 18 in a 6.0. That's not a bad grade for these early ASMs. Whoa, we also have a Punisher first appearance. Yeah, Amazing Spider-Man 129 in a 5.5. And last but not least, from this box, we have a copy of, all right, 9.8 copy. Always like to end the box and begin the box when possible with a 9.8. Edge of Spider-Verse number 2, first appearance of the new Spider-Woman. And everything looks good, and that's in a 9.8, like I said. So far, I would have to say, out of 2 boxes, only 1 book I think has been kind of suspect, and it was that Hulk 340 we saw early on, the one I showcased you guys. Yeah, so not bad. All right, I'm going to put these babies away. As I do so, I'll answer questions, and I'm going to go over to the final box, and we'll talk a bit about Fanexpo as well. We'll do it quickly because we've been going for about an hour 20 already. Super cool. Steven Capehart says the results of comic book conservation YouTuber channels get almost seems like magic. Yeah, conservation, if done right, is pretty great, you know. But it's something you just don't jump into, right? It's like anything else. You have to work at it, you know. One of my clients sent me actually one of these at a 7.5, and he did some cleaning. He cleaned the entire book. He cleaned the cover. He cleaned the interior, and CGC got it. They caught it all. They gave him a purple label initially. Then he got it back, and he did some other stuff to it. I won't go into details of what he did, but he did some other stuff to it. Sent it back, and it came back conserved with a blue with a silver label. Then he sent it to me saying, can you maybe do something to it? I said, well, I can send it to me. And I had a look. I cracked it out. As soon as I opened up the book, I could tell right away the book had been worked on. The cover just had a different texture to it. And the interior of the front cover was extremely white. And I said... And he said he didn't do anything on the interior cover. I think the book then had been worked on previously. Someone else had done work to that book, and then he had gone and done some more work to it. So you got to be really careful, guys. Like I said, you don't want to get carried away with this whole conservation, you know, beletting. Like, most books should not be belet. As simple as that. They're not worth being done. You got to understand that 238 that I showed earlier that came back in 9.6, belet, for it to work nice, you need a bleaching agent, okay, first of all. And you have to apply that very carefully. And if you apply it too heavy, you could cause staining, tide lines and stains, leak and more stains, bad stains. I've seen it done where the book looks terrible afterwards. Or if you don't put enough on, you just won't get nothing will happen. Or if it's uneven, you'll get blotching. There's all sorts of things that could happen if you don't be-led properly. And then, of course, the next thing is leaving it in under the be-leds for too long. And I think that's one of the big problems that people face is they get a little carried away, they get excited by how bright it's getting, and they go on and on and on. That 238 was be-leaded on the back and the front, and that was it. But that took 8 hours. I see a question coming up about how much it's going to cost to be-lead a book. We're still discussing it. I don't think every book should be be-led. Some books are too fragile for it. And it's just not worth it for some books. It's just not worth it. And even though I'm telling you that we've had great success so far, there is no guarantee that the book will not come back with a purple or a blue with a silver stripe. I can't guarantee that. I'm not grading it, right? So you have to go into be-leading the same way you go into CPR, right? You CPR a book, you crack, press, and regrade it. Yes, the majority of times it works out great for our clients, but there's that odd time where a book either stays the same or drops in grade. Or heck, sometimes they find something that they didn't previously find and give it a purple label or something like that. So you gotta be really careful with that. John, first time listening from Newmarket. How you doing, John? Thanks for tuning in. I certainly appreciate it. Mark says, beautiful voice. Yeah, sure. Cost for be-led service, David Dryden, not interested in for my White Dwarf magazines. Again, we're still trying to hammer it out. We're still trying to hammer out how to do it. We also the whole transplanting of certain things, and there's things we can do. We're probably never going to advertise that stuff. We talk to people on a one-on-one basis about certain services that we don't really want to talk about here. But I don't know. Probably $100, $150, something like that, to done right. It takes a full day, right? It takes a full day, and the person working on it is highly skilled. It's not some kid, right? Or someone doing it for the first time. So it's probably 100 to 150. That's where it's probably going to end up. So again, the book, it has to be worth it. You know where I think be-leading really should be done on? You have that Tales to Astonish book, for example, or an old Tales to Suspense book that's not a super expensive book, but in a 9.6 and a 9.8, it is quite valuable. And maybe it's a little bit dull, or it's a bit tanned, and or has a dust shadow that can maybe be lightened and get you a couple of bumps closer to that 9.6, 9.8 level. That's the book I feel, a really high grade book already, but because the white in the book is dull or faded or is yellow or brown, maybe that could bump it. That's I think is the ideal book for be-led. Oh, well, how about an ASM 129 or sure. But remember, when you're dealing with ASM 129 or what other book could I give an example? A Werewolf by Night 32, for example, or something like that, where you're going to hit the book with the be-led. The book's already a very valuable book. You are gambling at this point. A Tales to Astonish book in a 9.0, a run book, isn't worth a lot of money. But if it comes back at 9.8, yes, it's a big win. You put the 150 into it, and hopefully you get that 9.8. Yes, you can gamble with the ASM 129. Yes, you can gamble with the higher value Bronze Age key or Golden Age key. Sure, you can. But the risk is greater, right? Because the book already has an inherent value that's really quite high. So you're taking it and you're going to try to crank it up and see what you can do. It's a gamble, my friends. That's the only worry about it, right? But that's kind of where it's going. Capital District Aero, nice. Welcome, Mech 15. Welcome, Joe Hockey Player. So the be-led takes out the Browning. It can, and sometimes it works better on some books and less effective on other books. Even the aqueous baths, when we do pH controlled aqueous wash, when we do deacidification, most of the time the books can handle it. Most of the times the books can handle it. When we were doing our experimenting with aqueous wash like a year ago, You know, we hammered a book. We watched like 4, 5, 6 times to see how many times we could do it before the book. And eventually, the color on the front was an old ASM book we had. It wasn't a mint book by any means. That's why I didn't care. But I tortured that book. And eventually it just, the color, the ink just kind of started flaking off the front cover. It just gone. So the books have limitations, right? So, you know, if a book is in really good condition, it's going to handle these processes more so than a book that's in really bad shape, right? What's up, 49 Felix? Good to see you. Akira says, woo, I like Swamp Thing. Well, give me a call. Paul, for the ASM book that has the spine stress bends, can you check to see if the inner well is... Where'd it go? Okay, let me put them back. I think it's near the front there. Let me put these back. And let me see if we see anything there. I'll find those for you right now, Paul. We'll check. One more box to go, my friend. Which ASM was it, though? That one. It was this one here, right? Nothing looks out of the ordinary to me. Like, I'm looking at it different angles. It just, I look at it from the top, you know, looking down at the bottom of the book. It lies, it seems to lie, we can see that or not, but it seems fine. This one did have some bends in it, like I said, but look, it doesn't seem twisted at all. It's hard to see though, eh? But from what I can see, it's not twisted at all. It looks like the book, it looks like the book is lying nicely inside of the, what's going on there? Yeah, no, it looks fine. I don't see anything weird in it at all. All right. A lot of books in there. I got a lot of work to do with sorting these guys all out. All right. Final box. This one's also filled with a lot of different orders. Before we get to this, let's go and talk about Fanexpo really quick. I'll tell you what I like, what I didn't like, really quick. For those who are still watching, thanks for sticking around. Okay, so Fanexpo as a dealer. Last year, like I said, I went to Fanexpo. It was fine. You know, I was there every other day. Napur did a day. Charlo did a day. I did a couple of days, long days. My feet hurt at the end of the day, but it was fine. This year, I was there every single day, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. The setup was pretty good. Some ding-dong behind our booth was complaining the feet of our stands were encroaching upon theirs. It was ridiculous because I went back the next day and we didn't encroach at all, but we had to change everything because they were complaining. So we did. So you get kind of, you know, ding-dong dealers you got to contend with, I guess. But aside from that, it was okay. My biggest complaint with the entire event was, well, two complaints I had. The first complaint was Victor had a VIP pass, paid a lot of money for that pass, like $600 some odd this pass, and it gets you to the front of the line, but you don't get to the front of the line. In fact, you still have to buy tickets. You got a VIP pass, you got to buy tickets to get Simu Lee's autograph. You got to get tickets to get Rosario Dawson's autograph. So it's not as simple as going there and going to a VIP line. Like when you go to Disneyland, you have like a VIP pass, you just go right to the front of the line. No. You get there, you get in line with other VIP holders to get a pass, and then you got to get in line again with regular people to see. It's stupid. It should be 2 lines: regular line, VIP line. So the guys who paid $600 and something will have access to those guests because they paid that kind of money. Also, why do the VIP passes not work for the artists as well too? So if you go see Mark Silvestri, Victor stood in line for over an hour to get a signature, yet he had a VIP pass. What's the point? What's the perk? Why am I spending $600-700 on this stupid thing? And it's only works in certain places. So that was kind of a bunch of bullshit. The second thing was they gave us parking passes for the north building, even though we were set up in the south building. So we had to, when I got there in the morning, at the end of the night, I had to walk like 20 minutes up and down 10 different escalators and elevators, not escalators, to get to my car, which was kind of stupid. So that was dumb. And the biggest bunch of baloney was at the very end of the night, you had 500 dealers in the south building trying to exit to their cars with one freight elevator. They had 2 freight elevators. One was inoperational and one was working. And the reason why it was inoperational was because the convention center did not feel it necessary to hire a second person to man the elevator. So we had to wait for an hour to get to the elevator each time, to each trip to the car. That was absolutely stupid. So when it was all said and done, the night was over. Roy's like, I'm not doing this ever again. He had enough. He's done. Because you want these booths? Because they're under Roy's name. I said, yeah, no, I don't think so. So I at that point, that night, I was exhausted, and I was done. I said, I'm not doing this anymore. There was a lot of work. I met a lot of great new people, but I figured it was just too much work, and I'm old. I'm old, and I didn't want to lug grates. I don't want to lug things. If I could just grab my stuff and go at the end of the night, I might be more inclined, but I said no. But the next day I woke up, but I had a kind of a second thought. So I did sign up for a table for next year for Fanexpo. Will I do it? I'm signing up. That's all I'm going to say. Will I do it? I don't know. I really want to push that signature series more. Although Nupur is not too excited about running around getting the signatures anymore. But I want to try that again. I think I just want the booth to be Comic Doctor. I just want to have seats and tables and chairs. People can come in and relax, talk to me in a very casual, have Nupur there, maybe Charlo there, talk to them about pressing their books and whatever. Maybe have hours instead of me being there all day Thursday, all day Saturday, all day Friday and Sunday. Maybe we could spell each other off a little bit so it's not so onerous. And I also want to get an Airbnb close to the convention center. The driving back and forth is for the birds. I don't want to do that again. We're doing Hamilton, like I said, and Roy wanted to drive back and forth. I said, no bloody way. I'm getting us a hotel in Hamilton. We're going to stay in a hotel for the 2 nights we're there. I'm not driving back to Oshawa, almost a 2-hour drive on the 401. Forget about it. Ain't happening. But FanX, it's fun. It's a fun environment to be in. It's great meeting new people. That's what I really like. When people come to me and they're complaining about services they've had in the past, and I could put their mind at ease and connect with them and they feel inclined enough to give me a shot. I really appreciate that, and I like working with new people. And the best part about this job, honestly, and I feel the same way about teaching. When I am teaching, and I'm teaching, I start up again half-time next week. The best part about teaching is the interaction with the students. That's the best part about teaching. The best part, bar none, is just working with people, working with the kids. That's why I like it. Same thing with the pressing and the cleaning. Yeah, it's fun to work on the books, but running a business and being there for people and helping them out when they're in need is great. I really like. I don't like when people have bad experiences and then they come to me and then they're like, oh, they tell me their story and I hate it. I do like giving them an alternative, a positive experience. That's what I'm all about, and I like that. So that is it was a lot of fun at Fanexpo. It was like that way in Montreal as well too, getting to talk to people face to face, which you don't get to see often, and then connecting with them and providing a service for them that hopefully will be somewhat enjoyable. That was cool. The crowds they wasn't as busy this year though. It was not as busy this year as it was last year. I felt the stars, the celebrities were not as. I mean, Rosario Dawson's a pretty big star, but she wasn't like the draw that they need some bigger names, I think so anyway. At this point, Fanexpo should be bringing people in like top tier MCU people. I think they should be bringing in people like why not get a Robert Downey Jr. in there? Why not get who else? Chris Evans. Like that would be massive. They're making that kind of money. There's no reason why they can't bring these top tier MCU people in. Ryan Reynolds. Good old Canadian boy or whatever. Especially after Deadpool. Why would you not? Hugh Jackman. I want to see those types there. That would be mind-boggling, and they don't do that, which is crazy. Again, I'm not saying Rosario Dawson was bad. I did see a lot of the pictures she put out. If you go on her Facebook, there's a Fanexpo fan page on Facebook. Go check it out. A lot of people are posting their pictures with Rosario Dawson, and I'm going to tell you, she was hilarious. She had a lot of fun with the poses and hugging the people and doing these like faux sex scenes with them, and it was hilarious. Like, she had a lot of fun with it, and I thought that was great that she just didn't stand there like some people don't even want to touch people, right? Like, just kind of like this, you know. She was really cool. I thought she was really cool. And my wife, who went and met with all these people to get signatures, said she was very pleasant, very nice. Said Bryce Dallas Howard was very, very, very lovely, and same with Simu Lee was very, very nice. So that was cool. And they're, I shouldn't say they're not top tier, but they're just not like the big names. And bring them there for more than one day. Like Rosario Dawson was there for one day. Simu Lee 1 day. Dolph Lundgren 1 day. 3 of your biggest people there for 1 day. It was absolute anarchy on that Saturday. So if they were there another day, it would have been a little nicer. But overall, it was a lot of fun. Was not cheap. Made a lot of new connections. So thumbs up. We'll see. I'm buying. I'm putting the money down for our booth for next year. We'll see if I go through with it or not. We'll see how I feel, because I'm only getting older. All right, let's go back to your chat. P. Bale says, I thought I saw P. Bale's there. I did that already. Dan, yes, that platinum, that's the platinum #1. It's great. How you doing tonight? What happened there? JSS Brooklyn, how you doing? Peter Hurd, nice work, Kev. Bumped my ASM 129. I did? Is this yours? I don't even know if it was or not. I'm glad. I hope it is. I hope it was yours. Leaf casting before and afters are cool to see. Yeah, I'm going to start showing those. 8 hours. Yeah, it was awful. Akira, yeah, I'm interested in what you thought, because I'm thinking of doing a reply review of the Expo. It was a weird one. I found it this time a bit, and some people being rude. Yes, I heard a lot of people getting yelled at. I didn't see that, but these are volunteers, right? These guys are not being paid. I actually, funny enough, I gave the I came in the second day, and one of the organizers were there. It was just kind of funny, actually. This is a teacher now coming through, and I said, it's volunteers. You're not giving them community service hours, are you? Oh yeah, we do that. We give them community service hours. Now, guys, in Ontario, students have to get 40 hours of community service to get their diploma in high school. So what the Fanexpo has done is they said, listen, you come to the Fanexpo, volunteer for us, we'll give you passes to the Fanexpo, and we'll give you credit towards your 40 hours of community service. Wonderful, eh? Fantastic. Only thing is, I can tell you this because I was a guidance counselor for 15 years. You can't give community service hours to a corporation, like from a business. I couldn't have kids come to my shop and work for 40 hours and get free labor and then give them community service hours. Now, if I was running a fundraiser at my shop, like raising money for whatever, and I brought kids in to help with the fundraiser, yes, then I could give community service hours, you know, but you can't not give students community service hours for helping out at Fanexpo. It's a friggin' for-profit endeavor. It's totally, and she goes, oh, that's just regional. Like, no, sweetheart, it's provincial. That's what you guys are doing is not right. And you should not be giving these kids community service hours for giving you free labor. You should be paying these kids, and that's that. Anyways, that was an aside. That was kind of creepy. A lot of businesses take advantage of this, and they shouldn't be. I have an amazing Spider-Man 301 that would be a prime at B-led candidate, but again, is it worth it, right, Dan? Is it worth it? Miss Brooklyn says, is a black cover or white cover more difficult to clean, press, restore, and maintain a blue label? Probably a black cover is difficult because black covers usually show everything, right? White covers sometimes hide some of the defects, and so you can get away with a little bit more. But black covers also hide dirt and grime and stuff a little more than the white covers do. So they both have their advantages. But when you're doing dry cleaning, it shouldn't make a difference at all, because dry cleaning will not get you a purple label or conserved label. Dry cleaning will simply give you a universal label. So there should be no issue whatsoever one way or the other. Paul says, thanks for checking the book. No problem. Spartacus, only 5 likes so far. Guys, no, there was more than 5. 50 likes. That's fantastic. This has been a long one, guys. A lot of you sticking around. I do appreciate it. I'm gonna do a speed run through the next box. BK Hita 718. Hey Doc, peace and love. I have a Captain America Weird Tale 74. Could use a cleaning. What's the price range? What's the BK Hita? What's the value, approximate value of that book? And I'll tell you right now. Canada Comic Guy, Fanexpo was a fun vibe. It can be, for sure. Derek says, hey, what's up, brother? Hope you're good. It was cool bumping into you on Saturday at Fanexpo. Derek, yes, it sure was. It was, I bumped into a lot of people on Saturday. It becomes a real community, you know what I mean? It's a lot of fun for sure. Canada Comic Guy says, somewhere, yeah, I guess we're weak this year. I thought so. Dan says, even the comic artists, I wasn't exactly wowed by the roster. Like, where's the, we had Frank Miller last year. Where's Todd McFarlane? Where's Jim Lee? Where's Rob Liefeld? Where's some of these celebrity artists? What's going on here? Fanexpo's racking in the dough, man. What's going on? They can't get those artists to come? Really? Gord Henderson, of course, Simu was nice. He's Canadian. Well, there you go. I was freaked out with Simu. I found out he doesn't sign certain books. And one of my clients had a Marvel Marvel Special Edition 16, the second appearance of Shang-Chi, and I thought, oh my God, he's not going to sign the book. He did sign the book, thank goodness. But I thought he might not, right? Stephen Chang says, Kevin, you need to go back to San Diego Comic-Con of 2025, but for all the days, including Hall H. Stephen, I'd like to. I was thinking about it. I did put in a request to do a panel at New York Comic-Con. I was rejected. I don't know why. I thought it was a really cool thing, but we were rejected. So I may put in one for San Diego. I will probably get rejected there as well. I'm sure they got a super duper lineup of people waiting to get in, but I'll try it again. If I do a panel, I'll go, but only if I do a panel. But I have to know before, I have to know early, not like a month before, because you can't get anywhere to stay otherwise, right? Gord says, of course, Simu was nice. We said that already. Derek says, Dolph was a complete jerk to all his fans, charging $80 online. When everyone got there, it was $130 for an autograph and $200. Yeah, for us, it was, I saw $100 online, and then it was $130. So those that gave me money for Dolph Lundgren expect an extra charge coming your way, because I had to cover the extra $30 per signature. That was a pretty asshole-ish thing to do. You're right. I heard he wasn't very friendly either. Stephen Chang, San Diego Comic-Con return tickets go on sale. Yeah, we'll see. Returnee. I'm not a returnee, but I can get tickets through maybe one of my friends out in California. If I ask him to to buy me some, I can pay him off. We'll see. We will see. Okay. Luke, it was so cool seeing all those pictures you got from the signing on Saturday. Yeah, that was, we weren't supposed to do that, but my wife is stealth and she was able to get those shots. I thought you'd find those really fun to see. Adam Dunn, I don't think FedEx was ready to spend the money to bring in that top tier talent. I guess not, Adam. You must be right. Grizzled Noob says, are there any upcoming conventions you are attending in the U.S.? Grizzled Noob, I've never done a New York or a U.S. like set up at one. I don't think I will. It just seems like a really big expense. I'd love to do it, like maybe, but I don't know. I thought maybe Nickel City Comic Con. I don't know. Maybe I will. Maybe I'll try Buffalo, and I'll try it but I know the promoter at Buffalo is the same guy who does a Niagara Comic Con. Maybe I'll do the Buffalo or the Buffalo Comic Con across the way. It's not very far for me to drive there. It would be fun. We'll see. And then I was talking to one of my comic friends, and he was talking about doing Calgary. That'd be cool. I thought about New Brunswick as well, going to the East Coast. I don't know. Going far away, it's very expensive. I don't know if it's worth my while to do that. I don't know what kind of response I get. There's tons of pressers in the United States. We'll see. One day, maybe my following in here increases more on YouTube. Maybe I would. Be cool to meet you, though. Dan says, speaking of Rob Liefeld, did you see he's basically announced, yeah, I heard that. I saw something on Facebook today about that. I have to read that. So Rob Liefeld is now out of comics, he says. Fanexpo was a blast, Steve White says. Checked out your booth. Steve, thank you for doing so. All right, guys, 67 of you still here. You're still wanting to see this last box. Let's get to it. I'm going to do it this way. So it's nice and fast. I'll step back a little bit right here. I'm going to put a stack right beside me. Here we go. Amazing Spider-Man. Number, what is it? 194 and a 9.4. We got some bends here. Are those the bends? But are those conducive with a 9.4? Maybe. I don't know. I have to look that one over a little bit more. But where I'm seeing the bends is where I see spine ticks. And look, where spine ticks are, it's a weak spot of the book. That's where, if the book is mishandled, that's where the bends are going to show up. They're going to show up at the weakest point. The weakest point is there. So this does not look terrible to me, like in person. The back looks fantastic. So I don't know. Is it curved? Let's see if it's curved. Do I see a curve? Now this one does kind of have a curve to it. This one kind of starts up high. I don't know if you see that. See that up here? How the inner well is up here, but then it kind of goes like, it goes up high and then it goes like this. Do you see that, or is it just me? I'm gonna try to keep it still so you see the inner well, how it sits high at the top, and then it kind of relaxes. It sits really high right there. Yeah, I see, and I think what's happening there is, let's see. Huh. It's like the inner well doesn't fit proper. Yeah, that one seems kind of weird. That one does seem kind of curved now that you mention it. That one does seem curved. It's going like this. It's going like this, starting high, and it's going like that. So maybe that could be one right there. It doesn't look terrible, but there's something going on there. Let's see what this next one here is. We've got a TMNT number 2, Canadian price variant, 9.6. And yes, again, do we have any? It's not terrible, but I can still see a little bit of a, again, the same deal with this one here. I don't know if you can see it or not. Come on. Let's see if we can get this going here. There, you see that right there? It's not crazy, but there's something going on there. It's just there, right about there. See that one right there? I don't like this one right here. That's it. And if you look at the side, again, the top is over here, by the way, guys. You can see how it kind of, I'll go this here. Yeah, right there. See that? You see how the top of the book doesn't sit flat? It's kind of up a little bit right there. You see that? That's interesting. It's like it's being pushed. So let's see what's going on here. The other box didn't seem to, hold on a second. I'm pulling this one here out of the first box. This one, the first box, I want to see if it's doing that. Well, this one kind of does it too, but this book is perfect. See this one right here? You see how the top of the book kind of is a little bit elevated, right? Sorry, right? If you look at that, but this one is perfect. There's no bends, there's no ticks or anything in this one. This one's very natural looking. It looks good. So I don't know. It's hard to say. I really want to see what Cgc has to say about this. I really want to see what they have to say. All right, let's keep going. We got a 9.8 copy. See, this one looks fantastic. Now, this one looks great. 9.8 copy. There's nothing on this book. Perfect. Now, and again, it's got to go in like this with this one as well, but no ticks, no nothing. This is a really nice copy. 9.8. Very nice. We've got a Red Hulk here coming up next and a 9.6. Yeah, it looks okay as well. 9.6. Got to go quick, guys. We've been doing it almost 2 hours on here. 72 of you. That's usually more than usual. Guys, wouldn't mind hitting that like button? That'd be fantastic. All right, we'll keep going. We got a 9.8 copy. That looks okay. 9.8 copy, Marvel Secret Heroes number 8. You get the ripples up there. That has become very common lately. The ripples at the top of the book. I still contend I don't like these inner wells. To begin, I've been complaining about these inner wells for years. I don't like them. I think they cause those ripples at the top of the book. Some books naturally have them after a press. The heat does change the paper makeup, guys. I find they're more susceptible to humidity. If it's humid, if your environment is like not proper, those ripples come. And what's funny about comics, if they have ripples, and say your room is too humid or too dry, and you leave the book out, and then you get the room to be proper, the humidity levels to 42, 43, 44%, and you leave the book, it will actually relax. And the book will actually, without pressing it, will just kind of go back to normal. It's kind of crazy. So the books react to their environment, right? We had a 9.4 copy. This one looks good too, of Godzilla #1. You know, it's like when COVID hit, right? We were all paranoid. Oh, it's, you know, they're talking about monkeypox again now. Oh, everyone's paranoid about monkeypox. Oh, everyone's wearing their masks and going crazy. And, oh, I'm going to get sick. Somebody's coughing. Oh, they've got monkeypox. And we get all paranoid. And this type of, I don't want to say hysteria. I guess it is a form of hysteria, I suppose. With our comic books, you know, we all start complaining about this. It's a conspiracy, or it's a real problem that exists. We have to, we're gonna scrutinize every single book now. Some books are going to have these imperfections, right? Even after being pressed. So we got to be very cautious about that. I think the ones we really got to look for is you have a 9.8 or 9.9 nowadays, or a 10, and you see a really bad bend in that book that has no bloody right being on a 9.8 or above. That's where we really got to call foul play. That's where we got to say something's really gonna awry here. And then we have to say something, right? But anyways, keep going. We got a 9.4 copy, Omega Man number 3, sorry. First appearance of this guy here, Lobo. Been seeing a lot of this book come in. Keep it going here. We got a 9, oh, we got a bunch of them. We got another one. We got a 9.4 copy of Omega Man 3. Another one. Got two 9.4s. Oh, look at this. Nice. I love these. I told you, I love these Bronze Eye. I love the Bronze Age 9.8s. And there's no bend, thank goodness. 9.8 white pager Godzilla number 2. Beautiful. Love that. I love the Bronze Age books coming back in 9.8s. I'm telling you, that's what you got to look for. You know, everyone's looking for keys. I was telling guys at the Fanexpo how, if you recall last year's Fanexpo, I bought a bunch of Hulk run books, nothing from the Bronze Age of late 70s, early 80s, nothing key related at all, but they were so clean. And I paid like what, 50, 60, 70 bucks for a bunch of 4 or 5 of these books. I got them back home. I pressed them. They were beautiful. I sent them out again. In a 9.6 and a 9.4, they're worth probably 80 bucks, 100 bucks. In a 9.8, they're worth well over $300 each, maybe more now. And so these run books all came back 9.8, and I was ecstatic. A couple I just kept for my own collection. One, you know, and I paid very little for them. That's what you got to look for. These types of run books, in really high grade that no one really thinks to buy. You buy those books, they come back 90, you throw them into a Comic Link auction or into whatever, they will sell, because there are those guys out there that are 9.8 snobs, and they want those 9.8 copies of these run books. So they're trying to put a run together of 9.8 white pages of, I don't know, the Champions, or 9.8 white pages of Godzilla, or whatever. Those are really cool books to find. Bad Hombre knows what I'm talking about, because that's what he does. And he's got the eye of a tiger, man. He can find these 9.8 candidates, and he gets them. And they sell for good money, and they do sell. They don't sell easy like on Marketplace, but they do sell at auction really, really well. Let's keep going. We have an 8 point, oh my gosh, look, another good one in there. We got an 8.5 copy. Again, this looks really, really nice. Star Wars #1. This is a reprint. It is the reprint. Yeah, it is the reprint. Wait. Yeah, it is the reprint. It's the reprint. A lot of guys don't realize that when it says reprint at the top here sometimes, but this one on the back, you can see how it's kind of flipped over here, right there. It says reprint. See that? I wonder if this owner knew it was a reprint or not, because you know what, it might have gotten by me because it was the weird misplaced printing error. All right, we got a 9.6 copy of Star Wars #107. Again, this book looks beautiful in the slab. No issues. 9.6. Another 9.6 Star Wars book. We got a 9.6 copy of Star Wars #3. Again, the book looks fantastic. In fact, so nice it could be a 9.8. What's going on with that? Why is it only a 9.6? I don't know why. It's beautiful. We have also, check this out, man. Oh, we got a 9.0 copy Godzilla #1. Nothing wrong with that. 9.0, nothing to scoff at. Nice book, but right beside it, congratulations. I don't know who you are. Number 1, 9.8. I think it's a pretty big book in a 9.8. I think it really is. Nothing wrong with that. Lovely book. We also have some more Star Wars and some Batman. We have a 9.6 copy of Batman 666. I don't think I see any bends in there. No bends at all. Looks really nice at a 9.6. These are actually really nice. Got a 9.2 copy of a 9.2 copy of X-Men 137. No bends in that. It's a friggin' what do you call it? Kira Fox, you're scaring me, dog. I'm trying not to. A 9.2 copy of X-Men double size. It's a square-bound book. Square-bound book. We have Amazing Spider-Man 601. Again, a little bit of a bend on this one, but it's at the bottom. 601 Amazing Spider-Man, J. Scott Campbell. This has got a bit of a bend down. Where is it? Right there. You see? But again, are we being too picky with these now? Are we oh, it's a 9.6? I don't know, man. I can tell you with all honesty and certainty that was smoothed out when we sent it. Now, are we going to blame CGC for when it happened during encapsulate? That could have happened when it was being shipped to see. Now, I pack them tight, but it could have been, when they're taking out of they could have cut my sleeve and take the books out. It could have happened there. It could have happened at any moment, but from the time it was received to the time it was encapsulated. So it's hard to say, well, it's because of, the bend gate. It's happening, that's hard to say. All right, we got a 9.6 copy of a 9.6 Star Wars number 3. Again, looks really nice. And these Star Wars books, I can see this one's a 9.6. Has a little bit of wear and tear down at the bottom here. Okay, 9.6 is fair on that one. Nice copy. We got a 9.6 copy of Star Wars number 2 as well, right here. There we go. Looks pretty good. Looks a 9.6 would look. 9.6 looks good. Whew, hot in here, boys and girls. 9.6 copy, Star Wars number 1. Pretty looking book. No issues at all. Then I think we might have some of... Are these Mike's books? Are these Mike's books? I think they... Yeah, I think they are. I think these are the last of Mike's books. You've been waiting for these, so I can ship these all back. Mike, this is the one you bought off me. X-Men number 8. In a 3.5. Finally get Mike's books out to him. He's out in Calgary. We're waiting on these last few books. We have a Conan the Barbarian number 1 and a 6.5. There's no bends going on there. It's nice. This one here was filthy. The Silver Surfer number 1 had all kinds of pink stains on them. Where is it? Yeah, it had this. It was really dark pink. We did our best to clean that off. We lightened it right up. We had some pink over here as well, too. Came back a 3.0. 3.0 white pager. Still several $100 book, so nothing wrong with that. Silver Surfer number 1. It's quite sought after. Guys like to add this to their collection. Good book to have. And then probably one of my favorite books that Mike submitted to us was the Exciting Comics number 64 with an Alex Schomburg cover. It came back a 5.0. Nice clean book, actually. Very pretty. I thought it might come back a little higher than that, though. Was there, it's a nice clean book. There's a Canadian edition here, but I'm not sure how that affects the value, but still, nonetheless, gorgeous copy. So, Mike, your books finally will be coming home to Calgary next week. All right, there you go. That's all the books. 3 boxes. And guess what, guys? I have 3 more boxes downstairs. I was going to do 6 boxes. That would have been a really bad situation. Let me go over to the chat room. I'll finish off your comments, and then I'll get the hell out of here and let you guys go as well. Marco says, LOL. Life filled out of comics. I guess the Deadpool and Wolverine check cleared. I'm sure I was thinking the exact same thing. I'm sure he made out very well for artists who can't draw feet. Yeah, good point. The paper fibers become stressed. They sure do, Mech 15. Look, when you got ticks and bends, yeah, pressers can get them out. We can get them out. But if the book is mishandled, if the book trauma is reintroduced to the book again, it is going to bend at the point where the flaws originally were, right? They're going to go. It's not about reversion at all. It's just the way it is. If if I take a piece of, I don't have anything here to share. If I had a piece of wood and I got a saw and I sawed the wood, and then I put some wood filler in the wood, and then I try to crack that wood, it's going to crack right through the wood filler and where the crack really originally was. It's going to crack in the weak point. And those spine ticks are the weak point. So when when trauma again is reintroduced to the book, that's where it's going to show, right? At those weak points. Steve White, it's causing waves in the spine. The Star Trek has a wave at the top. It does have a bit of a wave, but it's not like it's not the wave that people are talking about. The people are talking about waves that look like almost like V's. Like the books are being kind of. It's like almost like the spine ticks are being enhanced. The wave in that book looks natural. It's like the book is in the inner well. The books are going to wave. All books have waves, right? So I mean, it's wavy, but it's not bent. The ones that people are talking about, they're actually bent. So it's different. Mark Scribblefest says, dude, I missed it last time. I have no idea. Did you? Hey, Doc. Hey, Kevin, how's it going? Spartacus, my Secret Wars 8 has a stain the same size the green ink square is on the inside. Is this a known issue? If it happens after the fact, if it's a printing error, that's one thing. But if it's done by the distributor, if it's distributor ink, it could cause a problem. Yeah, if it's distributor ink, then they could take marks off for that. Thunder Bay says, hey, Kev. Hey, back at you. Haven't heard from you in a while, Kev. Good to see you. Akira says, you're scaring me. I'm trying not to, like I said. Sean Snip, how's it going? Hey, Kev, I know you've been busy. I'm curious what month submissions you're working on. Excited for you to be on my books. We are now into, I think we were actually into July books. There was a bit of a hold up there. Obviously, I was away, and then Mapur was away, and then we're getting back. But we're moving along. We're at about, if you were to give me your books right now, I'd say we'd get to your books within 4 to 6 weeks. So, and I'm going to tell you right now, there's about 200 books at the shop that I have to review, and I'm going to do that tomorrow. So there's a lot of books that are done, but they're just waiting for me to give them the chef's kiss before they move on to CGC. So they could be very well done. But if June books, I believe, are done, July we're trucking through, and I think we're almost into August books. Although now with Fanexpo, a whole slew of new books have just been dropped on our laps, so it's going to slow us down a little bit. But we're doing good. We're doing well. And you will see them on the channel. You will see them on the channel, Sean. Kevin, like my square spine first appearance of Captain Marvel. That's right. Inherent flaws. GTA Lady, how's it going, GTA Lady? Been a while. Luke says, have a good night. He's leaving. I'm going to leave too, guys. Listen, thanks so much for popping by. That was a long show going on. Yeah, 2 hours, 7 minutes. Guys, I hope you enjoyed that. Lots to talk about and lots of books to share. Another 3 boxes to share with you very, very soon. I'll probably do, I may do a video prior to Tuesday. If not, you'll see me Tuesday night again. So if you like unboxing, like talking comic books, please hit that like button, hit the subscribe button as well. It'd be much appreciated. Guys, again, if you are from out of my area, you can get your books to me still. Fill in a submission form at thecomicdoctor.com. If I see that more than 10 books have been submitted and you're from out of my area, even if you're in, like, say, Northern Ontario or whatever, if you're not able to drive your books to me, I will, hell, if you're in Toronto, I'll pay for a shipping label to get your books to me if you've got 10 books or more. Why not? It applies to anywhere in North America. Okay. So if you want to try the Comic Doctor team out for size, by all means, is a great way to do so. Getting your comic book shipped to me for free. And guess what? I don't have to send your books to CGC. If you want to have your books returned to you after they've been pressed, I can do that as well. It's not a necessary. You don't have to have your books graded. In fact, I don't mind if you don't. It actually makes my life a lot easier. All right, guys, listen, thanks so much. Have a fantastic day and a fantastic rest of your week. I will see you guys again here, hopefully very soon on the Comic Doctor YouTube channel. Again, hit the subscribe button your way out, like button, and the notification bell so you know when I go live again next time. All the best, guys. Have a great night, and thank you all for sticking with me for the whole show. I do appreciate it. Take care. Have a great, great night. Bye for now.